Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a fall nail design. I've already applied my tips and pushed back my cuticles, and now I'm going to take my dehydrator and apply it to my nails, and then I'm going to take my pH bond and apply that to my natural nail. After that, I take my base coat and apply that to my nails and the tips. I then cure that for 30 seconds. After the base coat is dry, I take my new builder gel from Savvyland and this size 14 brush that I got off Amazon, and I'm going to apply the nude to my pinky, pointer, and thumb. I start out with a super thin layer, and then without curing that, I go over with a bigger glob of the gel and just float that on top to build up the apex and create the structure of the nail. To avoid flooding my cuticles, I place it down where I want the apex to start, and I drag it down the rest of the nail, and then I go back and push it up very slightly to get it closer to the cuticle. After that's on, I cure it for about 30 seconds. If I don't get the apex correct how I want it the first time, then I just go in with some more gel and build up the nail that way. I also don't add any more gel near the cuticle because I don't want to flood the cuticle, and I don't want it too thick and have to spend a lot of time filing around the cuticle, because I've noticed for me that if I file too much around my cuticle, that ends up causing lifting. I repeat that same process on my pointer and thumbnails, and once everything is on, I cure for 60 seconds just to make sure that everything is fully cured. that process on my left hand. After all that is done, I take my clear builder gel and I'm going to apply it to my ring and middle finger. I did the same process of the thin layer and then floating a thicker layer on top of it like I did with the nudes. I accidentally ended up curing this because I forgot that I was going to add on these fall leaf sequins, so I had to go in and apply another thin layer of the gel so I could stick them into the nail. I just took out some of the orange and the gold and I think some red leaves. I apply a very thin layer of the gel and then I take my tweezers and start placing down the leaves in just a kind of like a random pattern. It really didn't matter what way they were facing or anything. I just wanted the entire nail to be covered with the leaves. Once I got the leaves on how I wanted them, I cured them for 60 seconds just to make sure that that all the gel was cured on and they were stuck to it. And then I also flipped my hand over to cure from the underneath side to make sure that it was fully cured. And then I took my little scissors and I cut off some of the extra pieces that were hanging off. Once that was all done, I took my gel and encapsulated the leaves. I ended up doing 2 layers because the first layer it kind of seeped down in between the leaves and the little points and edges were still sticking out, so I did a second layer to make sure everything was covered so I didn't end up filing too much of the leaves off at the end. For my middle finger, I'm doing it a little bit differently. So I start with the thin layer of gel and then I take my leaves and I just place them at the bottom because I'm going to try and create like a French tip with the leaves. So I kind of just put them in the same shape as a French tip I tried to create the smile line as best as I could with the leaves, and then just filled in the bottom half of the tip with the rest of the leaf. Once I have the leaves on, I cure for 60 seconds, and then I flip my hand over and cure the underneath for 60 seconds just to make sure everything was secure. Then I go in and encapsulate everything with the clear builder gel. I did 2 layers of that again because, like I said before, the points and edges were sticking out from that first layer. After everything's cured, I go in and I trim off the excess little pieces that are hanging off the edge. And I repeated that over on my left hand, and these are the nails before filing, shaping, and buffing. And these are the nails after I file, shaped, and buffed. So next I'm going in with this orange polish from Model 1s, and I'm going to use it to create the French. I'm going to be using this liner brush from Beetles to draw out my smile lines. So I'm just starting out by drawing out my smile line. Once my smile line is how I want it, I go and I outline the edges of the rest of the nail. Each line I do, I cure for about 30 seconds just so I don't end up messing them up. It's kind of like those negative space French tips that I've been seeing, except for there's not negative space. I have the leaves inside of it. And then I go on to the rest of my fingers and do the French tips. I just draw on the smile line with that liner brush, and then once I get that how I want it, I take the brush from the bottle and just fill in that space at the bottom. Once I get the French done, I'm going to add this gold leaf on. So I take my base coat and apply it to the orange part only, and then I take my tweezers and pick up some of the gold leaf and place it onto the nail and just kind of adjust it to how I want it. And if it's a big piece of gold leaf, I just put it on there anyhow, and I break it up while it's on the nail. I find it a lot easier to break up the gold leaf while it's on your nail in the base coat or whatever you're using to attach it to the nail, rather than trying to break it up when it's not on the nail. Just keep adding more gold leaf and pushing it around until I get it in a way that I like. After I get the gold leaf on how I want it, I cure that for 60 seconds. And then I repeat that same process on my pointer and thumb on my left hand and my pinky, pointer, and thumb on my right hand. any gold leaf ends up anywhere that I don't want it, I just take a brush and wipe it off. I don't know what happened to the footage of me applying my top coat, but I topped everything with a matte top coat and cured that for 60 seconds. And this is how the nails turned out. They ended up looking really nice. I like how they turned out. I really like how the French with the leaves turned out. And I feel like the gold leaf on the other nails was a really nice touch, and it really brought the whole nail set together. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.